Well, this is Grimsbury Reservoir, lovely venue, and Bream are definitely on the menu today, and that's all I'm going to be targeting today. I'm going to fish method feeder tactics for big quality bream. Hopefully, if I can catch 3 or 4, I'll be made up. Might be able to catch a few more, but it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon now, and so I've probably got 3 hours fishing, and I've sat on, let's have a look, peg 7. Didn't know where to sit, so I went for peg 7. It probably looks back to front to you, but that's the iPhone for you. So yeah, it looks nice enough. There's some carp anglers further up near the entrance, and it just looks nice. Very, very clear, very muggy weather today. Very close, I think some people would say. So but hopefully we won't get any rain, and I know the clouds up there do look a little bit black, don't they? But we're going to give it a go. We're going to fish about 60 metres for bream and see what we can catch.
Well, that's took me minutes to set up. All I've got is a bag of bait there, a bit more bait, the Banbury book, and a landing net handle, and that's about it. And very minimal of tackle. I brought 3 rods. Hopefully you can see those. The rod I'm hoping to catch on is my new 12-foot distance. I've not used it today. It's rated 90 grams. I'm hoping it's going to be good for chucking 60-70 metres with anything up to a 45 gram method. So that's what I'm hoping. Nice big reel, a 6,000 size distance reel, and I've loaded that up fresh today, so I'm going to bed it in. I've got a shock leader, 8-pound shock leader, 6-pound Horizon mono mainline. And the rod I'd probably be using, if I wasn't using that, is my I've got a 100 gram 13-foot rod, and I use that a lot. It's quite surprisingly soft, this is, so it's good for bream. When I'm fishing for carp at places like Barston, I actually use the 130 gram model. Still softer than a lot of people's distance rods for playing fish. They've both got 2.5 ounce tips on. You could go even heavier, 3 ounce plus, because it's all about chucking really. Again, that's similar sort of stuff on there. The only other rod I've got is this bad boy. I haven't got this out for a long time, and I've got to thread it up, but this isn't for fishing, this is for spodding or baiting up with my feeder. So it's a 4.5 pound test curve 12-foot spod rod. I was given this as a prototype quite a long time ago by my good friend James Robbins, when we were both involved with Shakespeare a little bit, team fishing, and he was developing a lot of rods. So it's actually a JRC rod, but it was a prototype, and yeah, but it's just got really heavy braid on, and I'm going to be putting a bit of bait out. So it's been a long time. I've not used this since spodding was allowed at Thurston Lakes, and that helped me get through to the next round of the Match Fishing Cup when it was there. So I've done a bit of spodding. I really enjoy it, to be honest, but I've been itching to get this rod out to be nice. Look, that's how it's just covered in dust and everything. It's just been gathering dust, so probably needs a bit of a clean before we start spodding. But I'm going to put out a bit of bait at the start, and then we're going to fish normally with the normal rods. But I've got me distance sticks all done as well, so I'm going to clip up about 60 metres. I know there's no features here, but hopefully you can see there's one of my sticks, and there's the other one. They're 3 metres apart, so we'll start sticking it out. Yeah, what's that, 20 wraps, and that'll be 60 metres, and we'll take it from there. Well, I've just stick that out 18 wraps actually, so what's that, you do the maths, not quite 60 metres. I've gone a bit shorter, just to see, and then I can obviously go a bit past it if I need to. I'm just trying to take it easy, to be honest. I've just been having a lovely chat with the bailiff. He says it's fishing rock hard for bream. The only people that are catching the bream are the carp anglers, and they've been catching them 8 and 10 pound. But they says it's been fishing really hard. One match everybody blanked recently, but that's kind of not unsurprising really, because everywhere's fishing rubbish at the moment, and the bream are probably moving into their spawning quarters. They're probably in the shallow somewhere. But it's nice and mild. I'm confident if I can catch 3 or 4 nice bream, then I'll be more than happy. But yeah, I've just done my spod rod up to 18 wraps. So what's 3 18s? You do the maths. And then I'm just going to do my my actual fishing rod to the same. Nice big carpet of bait, and we'll pop my Spomb on, or my bait up feeder. I'm going to try both, to be honest, and I just have a bit of a play. I like to put a cage feeder on and just wrap it over the stick so it don't come out. Try and avoid that barbed wire fence. Popped it round the clip, and there we are. I'm just going to loop it over the line. No need for snap links through or anything, so it's nice and secure. It must be at least £30 braid, this, just nice and strong. And this is, for those who don't know, obviously match anglers don't generally know what these are. This is called a Spomb, and it will fly nicely in the air, hits the plunger and releases its payload where you want it. I used to use a quarter Skyliner actually, but everyone seems to be Spomming now. So, and I've got a big, this is the biggest Preston bait up feeder as well. So I'm going to have a bit of a play today, and we'll see how far we can launch this accurately compared to the Spomb. So that's it. And as far as bait goes, this is all I've got today. Now it's a bit quirky, this venue. You are not allowed ground bait. So you're only allowed pellets and particles. No ground bait. But that's fine, because I'm only going to be feeding particles anyway. It's a real munger mix this. 1 mil, 2 mils, leftovers, some 4 mils. Just want them foraging over pellets really. That's what we want. So plenty in there. It's a bigger, how many litres of bait is that? 5 litre of bait. But we're going to put most of that in by the end of today, and probably after fishing I'll probably keep spomming it just for a bit of fun. It's just as fun spomming if we're not catching. Keep spomming over the top. Keep that braid wet. Really make sure it's wet before you start casting, because of the friction and everything. You don't want any wind knots or anything. Not got anything else out yet. I just want to spom a bit of bait in. I'm just going to go in a little bit light to begin with. Make sure that's nice and closed. Okay. I'm going to stand up for this. I'm going to launch it. Yeah, that stick there looks nice. There's a cormorant, it's a big seagull. That's nice. That's quite comfortable actually. 54 turns. Could have gone a bit further perhaps, but stick to a sort of comfy range. Next time we come we could try 2 swims, but I've only got 3 hours fishing, so we'll make do with what we got time wise. And we'll just keep, I'm going to put about 10 of these in, put a bit more in this time. Well, that went probably a metre to the left. I've kept the rod right over to the right, and it's actually gone bang on the money again. There's no need to wait or anything, because it releases it on the surface. And the beauty of these Spombs is they just skeet across the top. There's no resistance compared to the old style spods that carp anglers used to use. I think everyone seems to use these now. I think that's the best way to load them, that way. It's probably equivalent to 4 or 5 feeder falls. So I'm going to do at least 5 or 6 with this, and might be the highlight of the day, this, a bit of spomming. We'll keep doing this. Might move my camera to get another angle, and we'll try that big bait up feeder with this rod as well. I've never used a big bait up with this, but I use these sessions as a bit of a learning experience as well. I'm doing quite a few feeder matches recently. In fact, I was second on the Feeder Masters just 2 days ago at Boston. Alright, section of death. I had Tom Pickering, Steve Ringer, Phil Ringer and Lee Curry all in my section, but I got a bit lucky with some really big fish. I had 6 for £67 or £68 plus £20 of other fish, and comes second in the match. So it's nice to be doing well in that sort of company. Why is that anti-reverse not gone back on? So this reel's not been used for a long time. I don't even know if it's a very expensive one, but for this sort of game, you don't need an expensive outfit for spomming. Just a big heavy rod. Now, because it's so heavily carp fished, I'm pretty sure the Bream are queued into coming in for all of this as well. So we're going to put out about 10 of these. I might put the big bait up feeder on for a couple as well, just as an experiment. And then we might have to wait an hour for a bite anyway, so this is the most important part. It's one of those things, it's worth having a bit of a practice. Where allowed, spodding is brilliant where it's allowed. And what people are doing now, because we used to do it at venues like Thurston Lakes and Larford and Barston and that, but it's not allowed in a lot of matches now. So people are using big bait up feeders instead. And there's the size, the big Preston one I've got is the biggest you're allowed. It's basically a sawn off spod, so it doesn't fly as well, but you can still get a load of bait out. But the beauty of the Spomb is you can feed any sort of consistency of bait. You know, you can put hemp and casters and maggots and all sorts out if you want. About a metre to the right, that one. I don't matter, bit of spread. Can't keep a 3 or 4 big Bream feeding on a sixpence, can you? Come on, Swan, go away. That's it. Eyeing up my Spomb. So we'll do one more, and then we'll have a few casts with the big bait up and just see what the difference is really. Right, that's the difference. Probably the same amount of bait really, but you've got to wedge it in the back there. It's a big bait up feeder. This is, if you was a fishing international rules feeder match, this is the biggest size of feeder you're allowed. It's quite, these are a bit dry. I've got to make them a bit stickier once I start putting them on the feeder, but I'm going to wedge it in just to get it there. Hopefully it won't shoot out on the cast. 2 chances, haven't we? This is the way it's all going. A big carp rod, spodding rod. Some companies are doing dedicated feeding rods and feeding feeders now. This is the feeding feeder. I'm gonna sort of strike it out so it spreads and empties a bit quicker. Just want a nice big area of bait, so the size of a car would be good. So we'll have one more. It's quite fun, but I just want to get set up now and get a feeder on. Almost spot a bit of bait over if we have to. This is actually a bit dry, it won't cling around that feeder yet, so it might just need a little bit of wetting. Get a little tub of water on my side tray, but I quite like a bit of stick mix liquid as well. This is sow stick mix. Sow seems to be a great additive for Bream. It gets used a lot of places like Barston and that, so I use sow stick mix quite a bit, or hybrid sometimes, but that just makes it a bit stickier. I don't want the pellets to be too wet. I still want them to be pellet form, so they will break down once it gets to the bottom. But that's it, that's much stickier now. I can really squeeze that hard, but I'm confident. You can still see they are pellets, so they will break down. But it's nice to have a mixture of sizes of pellets in there. A lot of people are obsessed just for using micros, but I've got some 3 mils, 4 mils, all sorts of odds and sods in there. 2 mil swim stims, and a load of odds and sods that I've been trying to use up. Some old Woodland View ones when they used to have red and naturals. So they've finally been used up. I haven't even took the cellophane off this rod yet. A 45 gram open alloy feeder. I've gone for the elasticated version. You'll have elasticated here, and that's 020 to a 12 hook, and I've got a 7 mil dynamite washer there. It's brilliant hook bait, and I'm just going to squeeze. I'm going to go quite hard and really compress it because it's deep out there. I don't know how deep, but I know there's massive deep holes and everything. The bailiff was telling me there's holes 18 foot deep, but it's mostly sort of 8 to 12 foot. So that's it, that's all ready for going. Feels a bit different now using this little rod. Some of that actually bends. So a bit of a drop. I'm going to stand up to cast because it's a bit of a slope above me. Check that fence post there. The first cast, that went lovely actually. The clutch was a little bit light. Just slipped slightly on the cast, so I've just got to remember to tighten it up for casting and slackening it off for playing. And definitely this is the sort of venue where you want 2 decent rod rests. You don't want that rod being ripped in. Even a Bream could rip your rod in at a venue like this. So just sink that line. It's fresh line, so it's going to float a little bit before it's sort of bedded in. So it's almost sunk. Almost there. We are, lovely. And now we wait with the sun in our eyes. Looks lovely though. Just tying up a little bit to that. Now we're basically method feeder fishing for big bream, so there's no striking involved or anything. That rod will just go straight round and we'll pick it up, and hopefully there'll be a big slab on. Anything from 4 to 10 pound is the target. We shall see. And now we wait. I could make up another feeder whilst I was waiting and everything, but because I'm not expecting many bites or many fish, I'm deliberately going to make each feeder up one at a time, just make sure each cast is dead right. I've got a little watch I just put on a leg there. Actually, I'll probably move that up. So it's dead on 5 o'clock now. So we've got 2.5, maybe 3 hours fishing. Plenty of time to catch a bream or 2, I hope. But talking to the bailiff, it is fishing very, very hard this place, and the only people that have been catching the bream are the carp anglers. And it's that sort of funny time of year. You know, we're only just into May, and everywhere's fishing a little bit funny. Perfect, lovely. Hit the clip just right. It's quite a fresh line this, so it let's just hit the bottom. So it just takes a little bit extra to sink, I think, for fresh line. It's nice to have a session like this to bed it in. But yeah, I've got £6 main line, which is only sort of 0.18, I think it's 0.18 diameter. So it's £6 horizon, so it's nice and thin, so you get loads of distance, but I'm still casting off an 8 to 10 pound shock leader, which takes all the punishment. And also it means when you finally are reeling in big fish, you can hear your shock leader not going through the reel, so you actually know it's within netting range. And I've got me a decent sized landing net on a 4-metre handle, because they're going to pop out quite a way, these fish, very shallow down the edge as well, so they're not going to want to come in, I don't think. But yeah, and now we wait. Feed Mr. Swan. I think he's going to leave us alone today, is he? I could probably feed that swan out my hand today. I don't know if I want to. Yeah, give him a bit of bait. He's not going to leave us, so no point not feeding him. But yeah, let's have a bit closer look. So I've showed you all my pellets already. It's just a mixture of 1mm, 2mm, 3mm and 4mm pellets, mostly 2mm, but using up all my old odds and sods as well. Just putting loads of particles in different sizes, keep the fish foraging and keep them confused. That's the plan. And all I'm putting on the hook are washters, mostly in 7mm I think, but we can try different things. I've just got a massive confidence in the washed out pink ones. I seem to catch everything on those, but we've got different colours to try there. And I'm using size 12 MXC3 hook to 0.20. No point going any lighter than that because the bream are big, and anything you hook's going to be big, and we're fishing positive anyway. And these are my bait up feeders. That's the big Preston one I've been using. That's my Spomb. It's always worth getting a couple if you're going anywhere and doing this seriously, because you don't want to crack off and lose it and then not have nothing to feed with again. So I've got a mini Spomb there, and I've got some smaller baiting up feeders. The Guru one there, and I'm not sure who makes that one, and that's got no weight on it, but that's more for feeding a load of bait close in, striking it out. And that's an old Fox feeder as well that I use it's pretty good. That one actually flows quite nicely. So they're all my feeding feeders that I use at different venues. And then all else I've got on my side tray, I've got my hook length box, and these are the feeders I'm going to be using, mostly the 45g open alloy with the long stem, because you cast better with a long stem. And but I've just bought the new 40g pellet feeders. On deep venues for bream, some people do like using pellet feeders, so I might have a chuck or two with that. We'll see how it goes, but to be honest, I'm just expecting to fish the 45g large open alloy feeder. Protects it, the rims protect the bait nicely, so on impact and it'll go down and release its payload down on the bottom hopefully. And a bit of stick mix liquid just to help make your pellets a bit stickier. And that's my Banbury book. And that's my data kit I've just got. So £3 for a day's fishing on a beautiful venue like this. It's £5 if you're not a member, and it's just Datic on the bank. Fantastic value really. And there's the rules. As it says, no ground baits or cereal additives. So that's it. So one rod only, but that's all we need today. But yeah, brilliant. I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully we'll catch 1 or 2 fish. I'm just watching my footage back, and I've just had a big liner. 17 minutes past 5, so we've only been fishing 17 minutes in my second cast, and that was a definite nice slow liner, so that's a brilliant sign. I wasn't expecting to get any signs for 45 minutes. Well, I've not moved the feeder, as Tommy Picken would say, don't move that feeder, but I have carefully moved my rod rest to the right now. I do like to have it off the left and pointing to the left, but that sun is so bad that way, and I've not brought my sunglasses, so I've just brought it around to the right just so I don't get arc eye really, so I can see the right. It's nothing to do with the ripple or the undertow or anything like that. Unless the wind and undertow is really bad that way, I generally have it to the left. The only time I would have it to the right is if visibility is bad like it is, or if the wind and undertow is really bad left to right, then I tend to have the rod round to the right, but I feel more comfortable with it round to the left. But no, definitely need it to the right today, because there's no way I can face that sun. Like I say, 3 or 4 bream and I'll be more than happy. 3 bream, 1's the mission to start with. I think if I get 1, it'll be bang bang catch 2 or 3, you know. It's just getting that first one. But having that liner really early is really give me a bit of confidence. Come on, you bream. And maybe if this was a match, you might have to end up chucking 60-70 metres, you know, or you could have 2 Spombs, you know. Some people go 60-70 metres, and then they'll have like a 30-metre line. Flat calm again. I'm going to persevere with what I've got on. I'm confident in what I'm fishing. I've got some dead maggots. I've also got some corn if I need to. So I'm going to give this cast 12 minutes. That'll be the first hour over. I've got a friend here who won't leave me alone. There you are. He keeps watching me, looming like a black cloud. He's after some food as well. Hey, does no one feed you in Banbury? and definitely gone a little bit nippier. So I've got my waterproofs and my top on, and there's definitely more of a ripple on the lake now, so it looks a lot breamier now, shall we say. Just want to be nice, but 3 or 4 will be brilliant. Bream, 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 bream. I want to bream, I want to bream. Give me a B, 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 R, E, A, M. I nearly lifted the rod at that one. It was proper. There's definitely something in the vicinity. Come on. As you can see, I've swapped my rod back now. A lot nippier now. The wind's just dropped, but it was really chilly a minute ago. Coat might be going on in a sec. But that looked really promising then. I was just about to pick the rod up and it sort of just sprung back again. Something big brushing against the line anyway. Come on. I'm going to change my hook bait next cast. Put a different colour or a different size hook bait on, I think. I've got, what have I had, 5 or 6 casts now? No bite, so I'm just going to change. I might put a bright yellow one on. Something has actually just crashed exactly where I've been feeding. Come on. Yellow F1 wowser rather than a washter. Just see if we can get anything on that. Surprising. I catch a lot of big fish on really small hook baits, so we'll put that in. There's definitely fish there. Big drop back then. Very big drop back. Just try 3 dead maggots. I thought I had one on there. See if they've been touched. No, not been touched. Let's go back to my I'll put a white one on this time. Just clean off the feeder. I was just doing some tests. That was a proper rip round and then a drop back. Bugger. Done with that one. That was no roach. Let's just turn it back up. Cows obscuring my fence marker there on the horizon. There are the moo cows. Absolutely flat now. Ripples the other side of the lake. If this one doesn't go round, I'm gonna wind on 3 or 4 turns and just try a little bit shorter of where I've been chucking. I can't believe I've had so many liners without an actual bite. That was on,
it was a fish, that was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Well, let's hope so.
That was definitely on.
Yeah.
Probably broke me or something.
Well, they up the sails normally.
Yeah, yeah. Unless it was a liner.
Well, it looked
like a foul looker.
Yeah.
No slime or anything on that. That literally went in and went round, didn't it?
Definitely, yeah. It's a good sign.
Oh, gutted. No, we just pick the rod up and that's on, isn't it?
Well, normally they up the sails on, you know, a short hook length, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Try again.
I know some people go a little bit longer if they're Bream method feeder fishing, but I always see them think 4 inches alright. Oh, that was the one, wasn't it?
Well, let's hope it goes again. Hope his mate comes along.
Yeah. That was swimming towards me, wasn't it? Finally. It's probably only a pound. It doesn't feel very big, to be honest. You'd probably just zoom off 20-pound carp now. There's no way that couldn't have gone round, is there, after all that? I'll go this way. That's a bit more of a nodding bream. What do they average?
I'd say 5.5 pounds.
Yeah. It doesn't feel that big, to be honest. It probably is, but it feels like might be £4. Oh. Not doing a lot. Oh, see that one then? Looks well. He looks rough. I can see the barnacles on him from here. Yeah. It's a good fish, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that looks well over 5. He did do a lot though. Yeah. Look at that, he's worth weight, wasn't he? Oh yeah, that's a proper bin lid. Look at the spawning tubercles on him. Yeah. That is a nice fish. He's got to be over 6, that, isn't he? That is a beauty. You don't mind waiting if they're all that big, do you?
Well, like that.
Absolute monster. Told you they were special fish. That's at least £6. What a fish. Absolute monster. Dinosaur. Do not mind catching fish like that. Just wait for him to kick. Hopefully he'll just kick away. Go on. Oh yeah. Wow. There he is. Result. Well, let's see if I can catch a couple more. Remind me not to fish here when I've got a bench behind me. It's very fragrant behind me. And oh, the hip hop music's just gone off actually. But it was a bit noisy a minute ago. And very fragrant, shall we say. So, but anyway, hopefully we can get a couple more and it won't be too noisy behind me when I do. See if we can get another one. We've got probably another 15-20 minutes, that's it, before we have to wrap up and get home. It's nice to have an evening. Perhaps should have had the scales with that fish because it was a rather nice big one. But never mind. There'll be another one. Just chucked that one out on 3 dead maggots. Come on, big waddler. Feels heavy all of a sudden. Come on. As I say, I haven't heard my shock leader yet. Just on the reel now. Come to Johnny. Oh, he's a much paler fish. Looks about £5 that one. Altogether a different fish. Oh yeah, still rough, but he's not jet black like the other one. There you go, you can see the dead maggots in his bottom lip, right in the middle. What I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly cast out and we'll look at this fish. Quickly cast this out. Clock's ticking, I want to get one more. Right, let's just leave that there and look at this fish. Oh yeah, he's probably about 5, so I would say everyone was closer to 7. Cracker. Fish number 2. See if we can get 3, and then we can go home. God, they look impressive, don't they? Got a B-boy business behind me. I think they sound French actually. On here, where the jambon. As you can see, I've packed everything away. You know what I'm like, one last cast, so this is my very last cast. The light's really gone now. And sadly I've got to go. But I just had another liner. And we'll see if we can get one. Give it another 2 or 3 minutes, then we'll have to wrap up. But thoroughly enjoyed that. Makes a nice change, catching some big bream. And I shall definitely be back. And everyone says it's not fishing great here at the moment, but when it does fish it could be awesome. And there's fish topping and everything now, so I shall definitely be back trying to catch some of these bream. Try and catch half a dozen at least next time. But yeah, not bad for an evening's fishing. Come on, go round. Well, the light's properly dropped now, and no more signs after those 2 fish. 2 fish and 2 drops, and then not another liner. So, yeah, cracking fish, and definitely food for thought for my next trip. Try a few different things. Maybe put a few more dead maggots and casters and corn and stuff in next time, and a short line and a long line. And yeah, I really fancy coming back and giving it another stab, I think. And I might even come with the float gear one day as well. So but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. Only a couple of fish, but really nice fish, weren't they? So it's nice to keep me wanting and keep me coming back. So yeah, I shall be back, and I'll see you again on another video. A better reel this in, I suppose.